So today is the day. It's Saturday 17th. I was watching Connie all night on camera, up and down, round and round. We've just got here. It's about 9:30. I've run up quickly to have a look, and there is a hoof and a nose coming out. I just need to check where this second leg is. Hopefully it's coming out correctly. We have a baby! There she is. She came out the full way. I just pulled her out the last little bit just to get her out. And as you can hear, I'm saying to get her, it is a ewe lamb. I'm so excited and grateful. And that's how they bond, by cleaning. And because she's never had lambs before either, so she needs to learn this is what to do.
Is it black lamb?
Yeah, they all Norfolk corn start back. Yeah. Yeah, I should say that. All Norfolk corn babies start off black and sometimes speckled, as you can see. She's got some white wool in her. And then she will, when her fleece grows, she'll become white. Monty, that's your baby. What do you think of your child, Monty? That's what you think. You're walking away. Fine. Yeah, I do. It is quite a small baby, so I'd be very surprised if there isn't another one in there. Very, very surprised. Either that or she's got a lot of water weight on her. Mama needs to clean your head, doesn't she? You got goop all over your eye. Well, here's our little baby, but she has just started pushing again, so there are twins. She had twins. So she's had this little girl, and then she's had this little boy. So a girl and a boy, and she's just now passing the placenta. You might be able to see it. So there's no more in there. We've got two beautiful little twins. The girl obviously will keep, and she'll go into our breeding flock, and the boy, kind of thinking might keep him as well. He's got the cutest little horns. You can see those little patches on his head, they are his horns. Couple of hours old, already on their feet, already had milk. It really has been the textbook birth. We got these signs from yesterday. They're coming in next week. This week coming up. It says private land. And so in terms of our Connie's due date diary, I was wrong. I thought the 20th. But Sam Stevenson and Gary Jones, you were right. It was the 17th of April 2021. So it's Sunday afternoon. And so the lambs are now about 30 hours old. So I thought we would check in on them. They're just down here. They're doing so well. Here is Mama Connie. Hi, sweetie. And then we have our little boy and our little girl. Now, earlier this morning, about 7:30 a.m, I looked on the camera and this is what I saw. And I know that probably the sheep just got spooked and decided to jump the fence and come closer to other sheep. But I like to think that they were coming across to say hello to our new arrivals here. So I just wanted to talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. There isn't any birthing footage just because A, YouTube doesn't like it. They don't like to see kind of stuff that could be portrayed as explicitly graphic and things like that, so we haven't put any of that in. And B, my first ever lambs, I was too worried about making sure everything happened right than to get the camera out and film it all, as you can imagine. However, it was an absolute textbook birth. Nothing could have gone better. So our little ewe lamb came first, totally in the correct position, nose and 2 hooves. And as soon as she was out, the little boy was already in the birth canal. So mum cleaned up the little girl, and then she lay down and she basically gave birth to the boy about half an hour later. So in terms of birthing, excellent. They were both up on their feet really quickly. Mum let them suckle really quickly, and then the placenta came out within 2 hours. Mum ate it, cleaned herself up. And so really nothing could have gone better. We've got one beautiful little girl called Ophelia, and we've got one little beautiful boy called Malachi. And mum is bonded. As for a first time mum, she's cleaned them, she's bonded, she's got tons of milk, and it's, as I say, couldn't have been much better than this. So in terms of what happens next, Connie and the babies are going to stay in this little bonding pen just for a few days. So it's Sunday now, so probably Wednesday-ish, we will attempt to move her out to pasture. Now, the main reason Connie has been living with the rams all this time is because she was breaking out constantly of the electric fencing. I'm hoping that now she has her little twinnies to look after, she won't want to escape with the rams. And actually, even just in the past 24 hours, I have seen a noticeable change in the rams. They are not interested in hanging out with her anymore. I let them out into the pasture and they're just off somewhere. So I think once she moves out with the other girls and she's got the lambs with her, we won't have any breakout issues. Now, before they go out, I will ear tag them, which is a requirement in the UK. And I'll also tail dock them, which has to be done in the UK between 3 and 7 days old. And we do that mainly for fly control. If they've got long tails, poo can get stuck in it, and then that can attract blowfly who lay their eggs, which hatch into maggots, and then your sheep gets eaten by maggots. So although we use things like Crovect and Click on them, which is an anti-parasite and fly controller, we also dock their tails just to keep them shorter and less messy. Now, the time of tail docking and ear tagging would also be the time for castrating this little chap. Just as a side, you can see his little horns. So Norfolk horns are born with little horn nubs. However, if I was breeding commercially and these lambs were for the lamb market, the lamb meat market, yes, I would castrate. But he is a Norfolk horn, so he's a rare heritage breed. And actually what we want to do is we want to increase the bloodlines and the genetics. So we are leaving his testicles on him, and we'll see what kind of a ram he grows up to be. Depending on how he is, we may sell him on to another Norfolk horn breeder that wants a new bloodline for their flock, or we may keep him. But this little chap is going to stay entire, aren't you? Meanwhile, this little girl, Ophelia, will join our ewe lambs, and so she will have babies in 2023. So she won't be tupped till 2022, and she'll have them in spring 2023. You might also note that they're all black, and Norfolk horns start black with some speckles, and then when their fleece comes through, they go to the white colour that we know them for. I know, have I got your baby? Shall I give her back? Here you go. Come on. And I've got to say, considering some of the lambing experience I've had, that was ridiculously simple. Now, it could have been a fluke, of course, just that Connie was a happy mum, properly fed, babies were healthy, came out easy. Or it could also have something to do with the fact that she is a rare breed, and rare breeds tend to be more primitive breeds, and therefore they haven't been as commercially bred and fiddled with by humans in terms of crossbreeding for size and genetics and things. And so they're more akin to a natural sheep, and so they have easier birthing issues. It'll be interesting to see going forward whether I have more ease with Norfolk Horns in the future. I personally think I probably will do, because I do believe that as soon as mankind gets involved in stuff, humankind gets involved in crossing genetics and breeding for more lambs or breeding for bigger sheep, and you start selecting traits on an animal which doesn't necessarily help with the birthing process, for example, you create issues. And when you've got a heritage breed which is more primitive and kind of back to what it was back in the day before we got involved, I think there are less problems. So it'll be very interesting over the coming years to see whether that holds true or whether this just was a lucky fluke for us.